What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have these NHX brass knuckles on the bench today for this Axial SCX24. So I saw these on eBay for $15.95 and I wanted some brass knuckles, but I didn't want the brass look, so I got these in black, which I'm pretty excited about. And so I've never heard of NHX before. They came with some stickers, nitrohobbies.com, so I'm assuming they make some parts for nitro trucks out there. And included with the knuckles are some hardware and I believe a couple bushings to fit in the knuckles. And so here's the Ultra 24 build on the bench, and so let's get these on the truck to add some weight up front. So I went ahead and installed one of the brass knuckles on the deadbolt, and I wanted to point out something. So this knuckle, as you can see here, the axle is located lower on the knuckle, so it has an offset. As you can see, this axle isn't dead center of this knuckle like how it is on the stock side. So you see here, it'll focus correctly. Let's get the focus. So here, the axle is directly in the middle of this knuckle compared to where it sits lower on this side. So there is an offset. May not be a lot, but there is some. So here's the old knuckle that I replaced. So I get that focus. In the middle, here's the new one. It's kind of located down low, not really in the center. So that's just an offset I noticed. Okay, and so here we come around to this side, and to remove the old knuckle, there's going to be a screw. There's going to be a screw on the top of the knuckle. There's going to be a screw on the bottom of the knuckle right here. Let's get that focus on the bottom of the knuckle. And there's going to be a screw that connects this chain link to the knuckle right here. And so you want to undo all three of those screws to remove your stock knuckle. And one more thing to note, you grab these and you say, how do I know which one goes on which side? So you want to be able to read the letters. So NHX, you know that's on the, I guess, the driver's side of the deadbolt, so you can read it properly. As you can see right here, you can read it regular, because if you had it on the opposite side, it would be upside down and you would know it's on the wrong side. So that's just a quick note, knowing what side to put what on. And so I'm gonna disassemble this real quick, and then we'll get to the next step. So here is the stock knuckle off of chassis. Undid the three little screws, and so now we want to take this apart. And so usually the pin would be in the axle. I already removed it, but if you haven't done it yet, pull the pin out of the axle and then you can push the axle through the knuckle, pull it out and put it to the side because we're going to need that still. And then I like to grab my Wera 1.3. I use this in all my videos. It's a great quality tool. The link will be in the description, and I grab it and I go through one side of the knuckle and hit the lip of the bearing and pop one out really easily. Like I'm on the opposite side, pop out the other one. So now we have both of our bearings out of our stock knuckle. I'm gonna set those to the side. You probably should have some kind of grease or something to reinstall these bearings on these new knuckles, but I don't have any on me. So I'm just gonna go in dry. I know I shouldn't, but I am. And so now here is the new knuckle. And then we're simply going to grab our bearings from our old knuckle and we're going to pop them in to the new knuckle. This takes some precision because if you put it in incorrectly, you can kind of make things feel tight, I guess. And so you just need to line it up and then pop it in really easily, just like that. And so it just takes some time, pay attention. We come on the back side. All right, so now we have our bearings flush in our new knuckle, and now we want to grab our axle and slip it through the back side of the knuckle. And so now that that's all put back together, we want to grab our chassis, and here on our chassis, this is called a dog bone. And so this dog bone right here, if you can see it, this camera will focus on it. This dog bone right there, it has a pin right here and that connects on the axle. And we want to line up that pin with, let's see right here if I can get this focus, with the slots right here on this axle shaft. So that slot is going to line up with that pin. That's going to get everything connected on the deadbolt. And so you can do it a couple of different ways. You can kind of slip it in here and then it kind of falls back. You'll be able to feel it like pop in. You want it to pop in back on the axle shaft, and then we're going to grab our knuckle, slide it in, Now it's like that. We want to make sure that we can read the writing on the knuckle, make sure it's not upside down, it's on the right side. So we're going to put that to the side. So then we want to grab our bushing or spacer, whatever you want to call it, and this is going to go on the top slot, hole, whatever you want to call it, on the knuckle, if you can picture it. We want to put that bushing, that spacer, whatever you want to call it, right here in this hole while it's connected to the truck. So for that, I have a pair of tweezers because these parts are really small. Line up the dog bones, line up your holes up top, and then we're gonna grab the tweezers. We're gonna drop it into that hole. So we're just gonna line up our holes, and this step right here is really important. You do not want to over tighten your knuckles with these screws because you will mess up your servo. You for sure will burn it out. If it's a stock servo, if it's an aftermarket servo, you will burn it out. So you just want to do it really tight, really gently. Don't over tighten anything, just do it gentle, because if you over tighten it, you will cause some issues and you'll be like, oh, why is my steering so bad? It's because you over tighten these little screws right here, which are very delicate. So we're gonna drop in our other bushing, spacer, I don't know, if you know what it's called, correct me on it, sorry. Then I'm gonna put in our other screw, and we're 2/3 of the way getting this thing connected. So now that both of our screws on the top and the bottom of the knuckle are screwed in gently, we're now gonna screw our steering link into this point right here on the knuckle to connect everything back together. And so before you put on all the wheels and everything and you get your whole truck back together, let's plug in the battery. Just test everything out, make sure there's no binding with the steering. So I'm gonna turn on our controller, turn on our ESC. See that? Steering looks about normal, doesn't feel like it's binding, doesn't look like it's binding. Let's see if our axles are spinning. Spinning on this side, spinning on this side. Looks like we have our dog bones flush, and so now we're all set up. Now we are free to install our pins and our wheels, and we're all done. So there is the double with the wheels back on, and you can totally feel the added weight up front on the deadbolt, and so that's really good mod for crawling, because you want all your weight up front. You want it 60-40. I'm not really anal about that, but definitely getting a little bit closer to it. So yeah guys, thank you for watching, thanks for subscribing. Hopefully that video helped you out with the NHX brass black knuckles. And so yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stick along with the build because we're getting there. See you in the next video. Peace out.